Here we are again. Welcome to Healthy UnComfy Convos. It's yours truly, Virginia Miss V.A. Smith, and this is the second video. I'm finding my rhythm, and this is going to be like, if you didn't watch the first video, go watch the first video and kind of get a synopsis about what this is going to be. What this has been. It's definitely been a journey that I'm being very transparent about, and wanting to say things that I don't necessarily say in my day-to-day life. So I'm making a conscious effort to have these conversations, as I think that they are very imperative for us to grow collectively as well as individually. So here I am, as we are on our second video, which I'm super excited because here it is. I'm literally going to pop my shit today. So, brief warning, this is not necessarily for children. However, I do believe that the information that I am going to deliver with any of these episodes is going to be universal to a certain degree. The delivery and the language may not always be as appropriate. However, it will still pertain because I'm all about the growth of everyone. And I believe that these conversations are something that needs to be had. So there's going to be some feathers ruffled. In fact, I just had a conversation with one of my ladies, and we tend to go back and forth. However, I do believe that we need to have these conversations with people that have conflicting views. We have to get a little uncomfortable in order for us to grow or understand and overstand what's happening. You know what I mean? So that we can be conduits of change and we can kind of, cohabitate. We're all different. You know what I'm saying? And just because we have conflicting views and conflicting opinions and belief systems doesn't always mean that we can't always get along. You know what I'm saying? However, I just kind of wanted to just kind of put that spit out there about the uncomfortable conversations that are going to be had. So this conversation is also not for those who are going to be sensitive, because again, this is healthy, uncomfy convos. We are going to ruffle feathers. We're going to, get that heartbeat to race and, make you think and, question some of your belief systems and some of the things that you've experienced in life. Because as you know, not everything that we've learned and not every thing that was told to us is true. Okay. So we're going to dive right into it. And I'm just going to speak more so, since I don't have any guests, I'm going to speak more so about myself and my personal experiences, and hope that it connects everyone else. There will be lives in the future, but right now this is more so video and content, so that you can kind of get the foundation and the meat of what's going to happen before it really gets thick. You know what I'm saying? It's about to really get up thick and chunky up in here. So without further ado, I want to speak to the aspect of being transparent, and speaking to being a mother of 3 children. So I have 3 children, and my children have different fathers. Now, just being a woman of color, and having 3 different children's fathers, or having different fathers for your children, however you want to pronounce it so you don't sound ghetto and shit. That's the reality of my situation. And people will judge you because you have more than one father for your child. And that's fine and dandy. People could judge away. However, we're supposed to be in this stage where we listen and don't judge, but people just have their preconceived notions about you because of certain aspects of your life, not knowing you, not knowing the variables, what led up to what, or anything like that. So with every child that I had, I was in a relationship except for one, and that was my first child. And he told me from the beginning that I was going to raise my child on my own. However, even with that, he has been the most he has contributed the most financially, however, was the most least present. The one who was most present contributed financially, however, still pick and chose when they were able to show up and act as if what they're doing is sufficient because they're more present than the rest of them. And then the other one just kind of falls on deaf ears when you try to hold this one accountable when it comes to just being a father and their lack of absence, and why their children don't necessarily rock with them to that degree, because you really haven't rocked with your children. So I'm speaking to all these different things is because as a mother, as a woman of color, being a single mother, having these different adversities, and still trying to have some peace for yourself, and still trying to navigate life and heal your own traumas from those relationships, the genetically predisposition traumas that you may not even be taking into consideration, not to mention, the traumas with your children, you know what I mean? So there's so many different things that you're dealing with as a woman, and often there is no one that you can really relate to or talk to on a level or on a frequency to where you can get some healing. So a lot of everything that you're doing is all internal. You internalize it, or you trauma bond with the next, which isn't necessarily conducive to any type of growth or anything like that. It's continuing the cycle that we need to be breaking. It's continue keeping those chains intact versus breaking them. So with that being said, I do have a son who's 21. I have a 15-year-old daughter who's my youngest, and I have an 18-year-old daughter. And all of my children are very different, just like the relationships that I had with their fathers are very different. However, one thing that I have found that in my own journey, just when it comes to disciplining, when it comes to communicating, when it comes to what you should communicate to your children, I've learned in these last 4 years to literally just unlearn all of that. Like, I grew up getting my ass whooped. I grew up getting chewed the fuck out. I grew up, the neighbor, you got permission to whoop their ass, or anybody who was babysitting me and my brother, they had permission to discipline us in a physical way. There were so many different things that I remember just in my upbringing that I carried on to me being a mother. And when I went through my court cases, because yes, I ended up catching child abuse charges on my son. And I'll get more into depth with that on another video. However, the different things that I had to unlearn and try to figure out a way of healing, because those same disciplinary actions that I endured as a child were part of the traumas that our parents endured, were part of the chains that were intact, because it's still a derivative from slavery. And that's a lot of stuff that people don't want to talk about. How we talk to our children, how we talk to each other, how we discipline our children, the violence, all of that stuff is a lot of post-traumatic slave disorder. And people don't necessarily think that that's an attribute to why our behaviors are the way that they are today when it comes to violence, when it comes to disciplinary action, when it comes to how we talk to each other, when it comes to how we look at each other. And as a mother, I've always, even before becoming a mother, just even as a child, I've always questioned everything. So becoming a mother, and when the truths and the lies started being told and unfolding, I began to question everything, and I began to dive deeper within myself, so that I could find more answers, heal my inner child, heal my wounded woman, heal my battered woman, heal my single mother, heal all those different aspects and layers to me as a woman, so that I can evolve into a motherhood that may not necessarily be favorable, but it's going to condition my children to be able to stand on their own, to be resilient, and be able to look past anything that they're told or taught, and create their own understanding for what really is true. Because like I said, even when it comes down to our food, when it comes to our disciplinary actions, how we talk to each other, the words that we use, how we see ourselves, how we carry ourselves, all of those things are a part of indoctrination. And it's up to us for us to take all this information, what we learned in our upbringing, to do, what not to do. Examples from our fathers that were there, or our fathers who were present in there, from our mothers who were there, or our mothers who were not present in there. You know what I'm saying? To all the different people in the village that were a contribution to where you are today, taking all those many lessons, whether they're good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly, and using them and creating your own blueprint for how you believe that you should be acting in humanity, because that's exactly what it's all about. And if you're really about humanity, if you're really about that true love for yourself, you are going to want to move in a way to where it's going to be conducive for everyone, even if it's uncomfortable. So as a mom, being a single mother, and navigating that process, and even still trying to be positive and just in protecting my peace, I've held back and retreated my own tongue from holding people accountable and calling stuff out, because right now women deal with a whole lot of bullshit. We deal with a lot of bullshit when it comes to these men not being accountable for their children. You know what I'm saying? A lot of men are able to go off and pursue their dreams, pursue whatever it is that they want in life, while the woman still has to be stuck. Not only are we having to carry the child, now I'm not, now, hold on, here's a disclaimer, because mothers will get in here and be like, oh, well, if you need, no one told you to have children, and they want to do all that type of shit. Our purpose here is to grow, be fruitful and multiply. And being a woman is a very powerful thing, especially a woman of color, because that's one of the closest things you're going to get to a God energy, because what else do you see creates life? But yet we're the ones who are scrutinized and criticized and not supported, when we are carrying and holding everything down and incubating and growing things into where they can be even better. You can take it to the worst. So I'm not taking away from the fact that I love being a woman. I love being a mother. I love the fact that I'm able to create life. I am grateful that I'm able to feed this life with this vessel. Like, everything that I need is right here. And I'm able to create life and feed life and grow life. That is powerful. So I take it all in stride. Now, what I will say is the fact that as women, we carry our child to term. Our bodies are altered internally. Our emotions are altered internally. And many of us, especially women in my position, we are having to work, figure out what's going to happen with this child, where we're going to live. Are we in a safe environment? Are we eating right? Do we have clothes that fit? Many of us in our position, maybe this might be your first one, but you're going to have another one. You might have another one, or you might have a couple. What type of support systems do you have? Do you have a nurturing atmosphere that's going to pour into you, uplift you? Do you have resources? Do you have job security? Are you growing? Do you have the educational structure and the foundation so that you can build some type of generational wealth? Are you understanding insurance? Or are you creating this cycle? Are you continuing this cycle just on an evolved scale, on an innovative scale? We're creating cycles that are broken. No, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. We're continuing cycles that are not conducive to us growing and elevating as people, individually and collectively. We're contributing to demise. However, we all need to make a conscious effort to do something different. So as a mom, I'm doing something different. I'm working and doing my darndest and my best to now see things for what it is and communicate this with my children. And they don't always listen, because moms don't always know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? They mock and mimic us because they really don't know what's what. But when you continue to nurture those seeds and plant those seeds, you see it sprout. So even with going through these trials and tribulations with my son, with going through the trials and tribulations of their fathers not being present, and still trying to grow my career and things like that, I am grateful to have that perseverance. But don't get it misconstrued and misunderstood. Where are our men at? There's no reason why I shouldn't be able to, of the many men that I done turned to, no one stood up and stepped in consistently to be that male role model for my child. Now, people will sit here and go off to say, well, that's not their responsibility. It's for the father. It's for the father to step in. Look, we are dealing with people who are broken and who can't understand each other, who can't understand themselves. If they can't understand themselves, how do you expect them to understand somebody else? If they don't love themselves, how do you expect them to love somebody else? If they don't love themselves, they can't love their children. They can't do anything with nothing with themselves is speaking or contributing to growth. So those of us who understand that, understand and overstand that, it is our duty and our obligation and our commitment, because somebody gave us the inspiration. It wasn't just that inner fire within us. The inner fire was what ignited us to keep going. And in going along that journey, we have people along the way to inspire us and give us gems and things like that. And this is our servitude to pay it back. So when you have a homeboy who's not taking care of their child, we have a homegirl who's not doing what she's not supposed to be doing, what's supposed to be doing, and on her shit, you hold them accountable. You call them out. You step in. You be that role model for that child, because we are the village. And now here it is. We are at a time where our jobs, our security, and all these other things are vulnerable and in the hands of other people when we are putting that shit in the hands of other people versus taking the accountability ourselves. There's a lot of women out here crushing shit. There's a lot of men out here crushing shit too. However, in the reality of my world, when I look out of my window, when I go into my streets and my community, I'm not seeing enough men present. I'm not seeing enough men bonding with these children and being the conduit of change that they can be because they are powerful. I'm not seeing these men protect our women. Out of the 3 children that I have, the 3 fathers that I have, none of them be like, VA, are you okay? Virginia, are you okay? Or is there anything that you need? No, they rather reach out to their child when it's convenient for them or not at all. And think that it's okay that what they contribute is enough when it's not. And y'all think this mediocrity is supposed to help us to grow, but you guys want to talk about Black Lives Matter. You guys want to cry about DEI, but you don't care about I, me, you, or none of that. Come on now. These are straight facts. I don't need to pull statistics. You can look around. Be real with yourself. Be real with yourself. Are your feathers ruffled? Are your feathers ruffled? Do you feel your heart beating a little bit faster? My heart's beating a little bit faster. Why? Because this is real. And my children, my 3 children, as well as myself, have been significantly impacted by the lack of presence from their father, the lack of presence from community. However, I'm grateful because I seize every moment for an opportunity to grow and persevere. So their lack of presence, their lack of support, put a fire under my ass to do more. And this is why you think women are heisty, ditty, and bougie. Because we have to fucking be strong. We have to carry another energy, a whole nother type of masculinity that's not necessarily in our DNA to do. But because we do what we have to do, when we gotta do it, because we choose to, we make a choice. We walk different. We talk different. Our energy is different. Our vibe is different. The bullshit that we take is different. It's not that we don't want to be submissive, but if we see anything less of what we can bring to the table, how the fuck can we submit to that? How the fuck can we even praise you as a father of our child if you're not even putting in 40% of the time? These men go out and live their lives, okay? Whatever career they want to do, while the woman has to pursue her career, take care of home, take care of themselves, and then remind these niggas or these men, I'm sorry, I'm just a little flustered, but I'm not sorry, of what the fuck they're supposed to be doing. But the man is supposed to be the head. This is going to be a whole other conversation because I know people are not even ready for that. But we're just going to keep speaking to just being a woman of color and being a parent or just being a woman, period. Because I know that I've seen a lot of sisters that don't look like me who go through the same thing. So at the end of the day, it's not necessarily even about color. It's just about doing what the fuck you're supposed to be doing as a parent. Because it's your obligation. It's your obligatory duty to take care of your child and support your family. But we're not doing that. And then we want to act like the mediocre shit that we do is supposed to be okay. And then you have people supporting this fucking narrative. Okay. Well, at least, one of my baby daddies, and I said baby daddy, yes. One of my baby daddies had the audacity to say, well, I ain't more involved than your other kids' fathers. And then his fucking girlfriend had the audacity to try to say the same shit too. So y'all pillow talking about me? Y'all pillow talking about this shit. See, this is the bullshit that I be fucking talking about. And then, Queen, you want to sit here and celebrate the mediocrity. How many fucking times do you see my kids around you? That should fucking tell you something right there. And that goes for any woman. You dealing with a fucking man with kids. How many fucking times do you see them kids around you? How many times do you see them around the kid if you're not around your man like that? Like, note to self. Because a lot of you guys are contributing to the bullshit. You guys are enablers. I was an enabler. I done had a few niggas live up in my house rent fucking free. What type of example was I setting for my son? What type of example was I setting for my daughters? An example of what the fuck not to do. So now here it is. I'm speaking that because now I don't do the bullshit. I done been there. I done done that. I'm not doing that shit again. I'm not going back. Hashtag facts. It's real. I'm not. I'm over it. Done. Done. It's a wrap. And now that I'm walking in this, guess what? I can walk in a room and I'm not an ugly woman. You know what I'm saying? I carry myself with poise. I can talk. You know what I mean? I got a little rash in my back pocket. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I'm a lady. You know what I'm saying? I'm respectful. I'm not hyphy. You know what I'm saying? I don't want drama or anything like that. But I can walk in a room suited and booted. All these other type of things. And guess what? Men will not speak to me. And I don't know if it's necessarily just my aura or whatnot, but I believe that a lot of it has to do with how I carry myself. I carry an energy that they're not used to. You know what I'm saying? Even with being in relationships and moving forward now, I've dealt with so many men in these seasons of them. Because when we are elevating in life and when we are growing in life, there are different us. We are born a different person every day. You know what I'm saying? There's several different personalities of myself. We got, you know what I'm saying? We got my more inner child. We have, you know what I'm saying, my more business side. We have my rap side. We have my don't give a fuck side. You got my poise side. You got my nasty side. You got all types of sides of me. You got the side that I'm with my children. You got my side when I'm with my friends. You got my side when I'm with my man. If I had a man, but I don't, so I won't. All these different sides. So when I've been with these many men, it's created a blueprint for what the fuck I do not want. It's created a blueprint for what the fuck I should be looking out for when I see some bullshit about to occur. It created a blueprint for how the fuck I am going to feel or how I start to feel when shit is not right. When I'm being treated less than what I deserve. So that I'm ahead of the fucking curve. Okay? Because I done been through enough. I done been through a lot. I don't have time for bullshit. I don't have time for heartbreaks. I don't have time for any of that. I'm very transparent up front. So if you're not with the shits, leave me the fuck alone. We could be cool. But don't dive down this rabbit hole. And being a mom and going through those situationships with my children's father. And even after that, being a mother and trying to date and having a relationship and being just creating some of those same traumas and recreating those same cycles, I'm cool on so many levels. And now that I'm in my space where I'm speaking, you know what I'm saying, in a healthy, uncomfortable way so that we can have these conversations, I get that could be intimidating. Especially since I don't speak too much about it, so I know it's in my aura. I know it's in my energy. It is what it is. However, here I am. And I'm speaking to it. Men, you need to step up. Women, you need to hold them accountable. Men, you need to hold them accountable. We need to hold ourselves accountable. Like, are you doing everything that you need to be doing in your child and in your family's life? And I could go on so much more, but I'm not going to. I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to kind of chill out. You know what I'm saying? Because I haven't even dived deep in. This is just, this is so surface, it doesn't make any sense. But it's real. So make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment, share Healthy Uncomfy Convos. Make sure y'all share this with a friend. I got so much more that's coming. The mini me's are being merged, and we're going to continue to grow with these conversations. Don't know necessarily which direction we're going to go because I'm moving very divinely with this, as even having this platform has guided me in a way that I didn't expect. It was all divine. So chime in for next time. Stay tuned so you don't miss out. So much more is coming soon, okay? Also, by the way, you can check me out on missvaoni.com. I am an independent hip-hop artist. I'm also a natural hairstylist as well. I have Next Vision Salon and more. You can follow us on all social medias. You can check us out on our website, Next Vision. That's a VIZION salon.com. Again, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification button so you get that little bell ringer when I'm coming on, because we're going to have a lot more healthy, uncomfy combos so that you and I can grow collectively as well as individually. So I love y'all. Spread some love. Share some love. Hold yourself accountable. Hold another accountable. Be transparent. But most importantly, be your authentic self and love you no matter who else loves you. So I love you and I will see you soon. One love.